Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Diego Castro. It's flu season once again, and coming off from the COVID-19 pandemic, how does one tell the difference? Mobile journalist Francis Orcio has that report.
Anyone experiencing colds and coughs as of late? Well, maybe the better question is, who hasn't yet? Flu-like illness has taken over the country as of late. This is said to be more common during the cold weather. The start of the northeast monsoon or amihan usually begins when we start to feel the cold weather. This weather system carries dry and cold air, but Pagasi says it also brings viruses with it.
Dahil nga sa malamig na amihan, ay paghandaan natin mga kabayan, especially medyo sensitibo sa biglang lamig ng panahon.
With flu season seemingly upon the country once more, over 114,000 cases of influenza-like illness have been recorded nationwide, according to the Health Department. This number is 52% higher compared to the nearly 75,000 reported during the same period last year. But why exactly does this happen so often?
Pag malampig kasi, nagsasara ang lahat ng mga blood vessels natin. At pag nagsasara ang mga blood vessels natin, hindi maganda ang sirkulasyon sa ating katawan. Pag di magandang sirkulasyon sa ating katawan, hindi masyado nakakalaban ang ating immune system.
The usual symptoms of these kinds of illnesses are headaches, fever, body aches, and having a cough and cold. But wait, aren't those also symptoms of COVID? So how can we determine that what we're feeling is not COVID?
Lahat ng viruses pwede mag-manifest as trangkaso. Kasama na po dyan ang COVID. Siyempre, malalo tayong mag-iingat kung tayo pa ay hindi bakunado kasi alam natin wala tayong panlaban. So para natin ma-identify, the best talaga is to do a swab.
Experts also advise to prevent getting viral illnesses by avoiding crowded places and, if possible, not staying for more than 30 minutes to 1 hour. But if you can't avoid it, wear a face mask. Make it a habit as well to drink plenty of water, getting enough sleep, and take vitamins to strengthen your immune system. If you're not sure about your illness, it's best to stay at home until the symptoms subside. So to have a happier celebration during this holiday season, it's best to take care of one's immune system. Mobile journalist Francis Orcio, we are One News.
Authorities arrested a man for allegedly taking a mother and her children hostage in Baseco compound on Thursday. The suspect was identified as Justin Sagun, a 33-year-old security guard. According to the victim, Sagun appeared dazed while carrying a knife as he entered the room the family was renting. The victim said they were unharmed but nevertheless sought help from neighbors in calling the cops. Police were able to get there in time to rescue the mother and her 3 young children. Initial reports state that Sagun had been drinking prior to the incident. He will face complaints for slight illegal detention, illegal possession of a deadly weapon, and violation of the child abuse law.
Nakipag-ano tayo sa kanya, nakipag-usap, pretending na kakilala natin siya. After mga 2.5 hours of dialogue or negotiation sa kanya, ay nagkaroon tayo opportunity na i-grab siya.
No comment na lang po, sir, sa korte na lang po.
Aside from alleged sex trafficking, there is also evidence of torture and forced labor going on in the POGO hub in Pasay that was recently raided by authorities. Some of the victims of the supposed prostitution then said they were extorted into working for the POGO hub after owing the casino a huge sum of money. They were allegedly sold for ₱500,000 pesos and kept in the compound since then. Aside from forced labor, the victims are also allegedly being subjected to torture when they get out of line. The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission is now also looking into the matter. The agency vows to go after not only operation leaders, but also incorporators of the POGO hub.
People were forcibly taken from areas like casino, so they are unable to go out. Then a significant amount from their monthly salary is taken from their salary. So it's practically a form of debt servitude. This is very disturbing. Dapat managot dito yung smart web technology. Hindi lang po yung mga individual na nahuli natin na nandito, yung hahabulin natin, but the incorporators and the officers of smart web technology.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. COMELEC says there will be no overtime pay for teachers who serve beyond 24 hours in this year's barangay and SK elections. The poll body said that while they would like to extend that benefit to the electoral board members, they are restricted by a joint COA and DBM circular, which states that only employees of an agency are entitled to overtime pay. The Teachers Dignity Coalition previously sought overtime pay for teachers serving more than 24 hours as poll workers. The DepEd, meanwhile, is considering granting additional service credits to teachers who work overtime in the elections. These service credits are not convertible to cash, but can be used as leave credits. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida makes an official visit to the Philippines today to discuss several issues with President Bongbong Marcos. What can we expect from this meeting? De La Salle University geopolitical analyst Don McLean Gill told the big story that the Philippines and Japan share similar threat perceptions towards China. He said this paves the way for the Philippines to expand its defense cooperation with non-traditional allies. Gill adds that the Philippines must work to secure and institutionalize this alliance with Japan in order to benefit from it in the long run.
Manila and Tokyo also shared similar threat perceptions towards China, right? And this is not only in terms of territorial expansion in the traditional sense, but also disinformation. So hopefully we will also be able to institutionalize, this is what I'm actually looking into, a regularized maritime exercise with Japan. So we have to make sure that we set the groundwork, make it formidable to the point that it would not seem that we are inconsistent in our approach. And that is something that is a way to show China that we are serious about our commitment.
Gill added that recently some Chinese-funded infra projects fell through. This is where Japan comes in, being a significant infrastructure investor in Southeast Asia. Gill believes that taking over railway projects dropped by China is in Japan's best interest, but he maintained that the success of Japanese initiatives in the country would still depend on negotiations.
The Southeast Asia is definitely one of the most important areas for Japan to improve its position as a developing partner. But of course, it's not going to be as simple as, do you want to take it? Yeah, sure, we'll take it. Right. So it depends on the negotiations that would entail, how both countries, the Philippines and Japan, will be able to iron out some nitty-gritty details on the arrangements and to result in a sort of positive sum cooperation for infrastructure, right?
Heads up to motorists. Expect higher toll fees for those going south. The Toll Regulatory Board approved toll hikes at the South Luzon Expressway starting today. That's a 10 peso increase for Class 1 vehicles, 20 pesos for Class 2, and 30 pesos for Class 3 vehicles coming from Calamba to Alabang. For those coming from Santo Tomas to Calamba, get ready to add 4 pesos to your toll budget if you're driving Class 1. 6 pesos for Class 2, and 8 pesos for Class 3. Toll fees are also set to go up at the Muntinlupa-Cavite Expressway. That's a 1 peso increase for Class 1, 2 pesos for Class 2, and 3 pesos for Class 3 vehicles. The Toll Regulatory Board says these toll hikes have been petitioned and deferred for years now in favor of the driving public. And now that it will be imposed, the agency said it's the public that will ultimately benefit from improved road infrastructure. And that's it for this hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News, all sides, all the time.